What's going on, guys? How we doing out there? TGIF made it to yet another weekend, and look at this, starting off with Waka Talka and saying hello right from the get-go. Yeah, Discord finally proved itself useful for a change. That's great. That's great. Nightfall's here too. What up, Nightfall? Welcome, welcome. So, this is going to be kind of a fun stream for me. Half the reason I'm recording this one is just for posterity, because I'm doing a very brave thing. If you remember on Wednesday, I was trying to finish up the demo version of Tribbles and pretty much got that all locked up. So we're good there. I'm going to be sending out updates this weekend for Steam and for itch.io, whatever it is. So the new version will actually have the challenge mode, the arcade mode, which is tough. It kicks my butt. Are we being recorded? No. As far as you know, no. Just the voices in my head are pressing play and record. So I've decided that it's time to bust out an 8-year-old game, Save the Titanic, which still, to this day, even though I have not touched it in literally 8 years in terms of updates, still gets downloads, right? And then, as I talked about before, it breaks on Android devices and that kind of stuff. And I think Apple pulled it down because the ads I had in there the SDKs were so old that they had vulnerability. So they just pulled the app down, right? So I got to go revisit it. Yeah, this is going to be ugly. This is going to be really ugly. I just want to record this and have this one to look back on, because this is what happens when you try and take an 8-year-old Unity project, right, and try and update it to today. It's just, it's ugly. Okay, so what you see here is I just started tweaking this. I did not do much, but it doesn't matter because it's already so totally dead in the water. It doesn't even matter. I guess I could probably hit play and it'll run, kind of. We're already done. Nothing's happening. Oh God, this is gonna be great. So let me just go down the list, right? Because once again, I'm doing this half for me, just because I think this is hysterical. And this is why I've been so reluctant to update this game, because I literally have to redo everything, right? So beginning with plugins. So I started this game over 8 years ago, right? Or no, I guess it was about 8 years ago. And I did it in about 5.5 weeks. So it was a thrown together kind of project. So I used all the plugins I could find to make it go fast. And I just started using Unity. I was not that far into it. I was a couple years in, but my coding skills were not what they are now, which today they suck. So that tells you 8 years ago it was suck exponential, right? So I was using plugins. And the fun thing is looking at what plugins are even still alive anymore, right? A couple of them aren't. So to begin with, Playtomic. So Playtomic was a plugin that was, now this is early days. There was no such thing as analytics back then, right? Nobody did that. Playtomic was one of the early ones. They just started off, right? And it was a free plugin for Unity. So I started using it. It was awesome because I was getting feedback in terms of how many downloads and plays and all this kind of stuff. Now it's very common. There's a million ways you can do it. Unity has it built in. But back then, this was unheard of, right? So Save the Titanic, as I talked about way too many times, sorry, blew up, right? It got tons of downloads. I don't think it speaks to the app itself. I just think it speaks to the condition of the App Store 8 years ago. There just wasn't much there, right? And it blew up. And it was such a success that Playtomic actually emailed me and said that basically the game was breaking their servers. It had so much activity that they just said, you know what? Sorry, but we're going to go ahead and pull your app down. Because you're just foobarring our servers, man. You're just killing us. So they just never anticipated a game would actually have any level of success like that, right? So they did. They pulled it down. And that's fine, because I was more of like idle curiosity more than I thought it would do any traction. But yeah, long story short, I don't remember if Playtomic actually got bought by anybody or if it just died outright. But long story short, Playtomic is gone, right? And then at this point they're a buggy whip. The proverbial buggy whip, in the sense that there's so many ways to get analytics that their services are like not even relevant anymore. So they're gone. I did have ads in the game. One of them was provided by a company that actually did the lion's share of my ads eventually, called M.M. And they're gone. I'm not sure if they're gone or just got bought out by another company, so maybe they're technically still around, but either way, it was way too hard to decipher. But for M.M.com is gone, right? Or whatever they called themselves back then. But funny little side story. So M.M was a replacement for my original one. What was it called? MobClicks, I think, was the network. And the great thing about MobClicks was the fact that this is early days, that it allowed you to have a network of ad services, right? Now, once again, this is very common nowadays, but at the time is very novel, and even better because it was all kind of integrated into the app. So I loved it because it gave me lots of different ad networks to send me ads, including M.M. And I didn't have to do anything besides put that one plug in there. And it was great until it worked, right? For a short time, Save the Titanic made a lot of money. Quite honestly, it made, when it hit number one in the game store. So briefly, there's a couple of days where it actually made a lot of revenue. Unfortunately, MobClicks died and took a large chunk of my money with them. I'm so glad for all the common functions I can get in Unity. Saves me months of time. Totally true, man. I like a lot of the things they've added in. And I mean, I feel sorry for the people that have written plugins that do these services, and then Unity comes along and just kind of goes, yeah, we'll take care of that now. So the plugin becomes kind of moot. But yeah, absolutely. There's so many features now that didn't exist. And that's going to be fun because some of the stuff is just going to get replaced outright. Okay, so those are the two that are gone outright. Playtomic is dead. M.M is dead. Other plugins were Easy GUI, right? Because once again, this is way before UGUI ever existed. And Easy GUI was sort of the king back in the day. They had their little 15 minutes of fame, and that allowed me to do, just the buttons in the GUI and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I think technically A&B Software is still technically around, but I think they're doing development now. But either way, the Easy GUI software plugin that they wrote is abandonware. That's just totally gone. And bye-bye. Also, I didn't know how to really process the touch screen and all that kind of stuff, the inputs well, in terms of like turning the wheel of the Titanic, which is the entire game. So I used a plugin called Finger Gestures that I bought back in the day. And yeah, abandonware. It hasn't been updated in years and years. And then the final thing was items that I need to replace. So iTween, which is sort of like a precursor to DoTween, which is DoTween is what I use today. iTween is kind of the same thing, but iTween had this really terrible bug, and I don't know if they ever fixed it. Because I shifted gears and went away, but iTween had this thing that it would sometimes do a call, and if it did the call on an object that got turned off, then it would throw an error. And I mean, you would have like a app coming to a stop, kind of halting kind of stuff, error, right? For something that was like should have been a soft fault, right? So I shifted away from iTween to DoTween, I think, later on. So I got to purge out all the iTween stuff and replace it with DoTween. That's awful that you lost so much money, ad revenue from that company that went under. I agree. Don't overstate it. They did actually send me a check. So I did get a good chunk of change, right? It was really nice. I got a nice chunk of change once, and then they took, quite honestly, several $1,000s with them when they died. But lesson learned, right? From that point on, I made sure that I never tied myself to just one ad network. All my games from that point on, I had it set up where I could flip the switch. Yeah. I lost a few $1,000s on that one. So yeah, and it was a good lesson, It was, and tragically, because this was so early on in my development, 2 years in, I had this idiotic, ignorant mindset that I was kind of like, oh, you know what? Yeah, so what? Okay, I lost a few grand. That's fine. I can do it again. I just did it. I can do it again. No. No, you can't. No, you cannot. I learned that one the hard way. Combination of factors. Combination was the game was novel. The game came at a time where somebody wanted novel. I've discussed this before, but I honestly believe that I made Flappy Bird a couple of years before Flappy Bird came out, because that's exactly what it was. Graphically, it's a very simple looking game. The gameplay is incredibly simple, and you either win or lose like that, right? And it was really hard, right? And I think that's why I had that level of success. I don't think you can replicate that now. I think the market's totally changed over the years, you know. But so I had that to deal with. Flurry was also doing double duty for ads and also for analytics as well. Flurry's still around, I think, but at this point, once again, kind of not an issue. Ads are going to be done differently, and then analytics, of course, I would do through Unity anyways, just simpler. Game Center had high score tables on that. Excuse me, and of course, once again, you know, as Nightfall was saying, right? Unity has integrated all this stuff, one-stop shopping. So I will be using Unity's ability to do, all that leaderboard stuff for each of the platforms. And then finally, the was all this before video ad rewards. Yeah, it was. I mean, we're talking. What was this? 2000 and well, I mean, it's 8 years ago. So, yeah. 2012. I integrated video ad rewards recently, and I owed them excited to see analytics. And This really was. This is. Yeah, you're exactly right. This was before rewarded ads, because all I had was banner ads and interstitials, full screen ads that would pop up in between rounds, because that was commonplace 8 years ago, right? There was no such thing as, oh, you almost made it. Here, you watch this video for 30 seconds and you can keep going. That didn't exist back then, not 8 years ago, right? And then, yeah, so like I said, Game Center. And then the final thing was the Android Manifest, which I just jettisoned outright, because who knows what is all in there for plugins that I'm purging out. So the first thing I did, the only thing I've done so far in this project, right, and this is, here I am, you know, in the beautiful 2019.3, right, version 13, is I cleared out some of the plugins. And you can see immediately all the red, right, and all the pink on the screen. Pink means it's obviously lost all its shader information, and the red just tells me that whatever scripts were talking to it are all gone. And that's because of the easy GUI stuff that I was using, right? I mean, this is years before Unity even started thinking, much less doing, 2D stuff, right? So you had to use plugins back then, or you had to write your own, right? But obviously that's gone, so I have to replace that. So all that gets replaced, along with all the code for that. So in the meantime, I got nothing to look at. As you can see, like, all the stuff, if I go look at the wheel, yeah, I think it's kind of there. It's just totally busted. It's just missing, right? The wheel column, it's all gone. The mesh is missing. All that's just FooBart. So what I thought it'd be fun to do, at least, just to get a sense of some context, was to load it up in the platform it's developed in, which means I had to go back and download it. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Unity version 3.5. Just let that sink in for a second, okay? 3.5. So, but the nice thing is I actually got graphics, right? You know, it's still got the stuff here. So, yeah, you can actually see I guess technically this is my first 2D game, although there really wasn't anything in terms of animation besides scaling and translation, so I don't really think that counts as 2D animation. I don't think I would actually compare the two. But, yeah. Yeah, I know. It is a throwback, isn't it? Oh, you want to see how old school this is, right? Okay, Nightfall, question for you. When you want to change between windows, do you know what the keyboard command for it is? Let me toggle back over here, right? There, so if you want to switch between windows, do you know the hotkey for that in Unity? If I would have to guess the name so far, I would guess Blue or Water. Oh no! Oh, the name of the game is Save the Titanic. So the idea is that you're on like the bridge of the Titanic. You know, there's the wheel, right? And then the iceberg's coming, and you just turn the wheel. That's like the entire. It's a glorified Flash game. It was always just a wacky idea. Never meant to find an audience. It was just meant to crack my buddies up, right? It was just never anything beyond that. So, all right. So, don't know if you guys don't know it or just too busy to type. But, okay. So, the way it works now is you hold down Shift and hit the spacebar. That's how you do window switching, right? Hot switching. This is so old that no Shift. Just spacebar. This is Unity back in the day, back when it used to work like Maya does, right? So there's no shift needed. You just hit space, and it would toggle the window. That's how old this is, right? And then I'm close, but I can't quite run the game right now because Flurry is throwing some error messages. So I'm going to cross my fingers here and hope that if I just clear this out, I don't know if it's just going to, if it'll make everything work well, or if it's just going to open up the floodgates for 20 more errors to pop up. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, wait, demo. Okay, wait, we're still alive. Let's just clear out demo, Flurry demo altogether. Stop. All right. Okay, yeah, so now I have to clear out my ads, which, oh, I love this. So I click on my... Oh, God, this is great. So I clicked on my script, and you see what it did? It goes, what the hell do you want me to do with this? I don't even know what the hell that is, right? Because it's Unity script. So I have, I don't even think I can open it up in anything. I can't even open up in that. Let's see if I can maybe change it to Visual Studio 2017. I'll see if it'll do it. Let's see. Fingers crossed. Let's see if it at least, yeah, okay, it displays it. But oh, look at all the error messages. Unity's going, I have no idea what the hell this code is, man. Unity's just going, what is this? It's kind of like it's Unity script, you know, as in you are Unity. This is Unity script, and it's like, oh, that was my great grandfather dealt with that stuff. No, we're all about C# now. So this is what I was talking about. I literally cannot load this up because, oh, I mean, okay, I can edit this, but I'm gonna get no sense of, this is not gonna tell me if it's right or wrong, right? So what I at least got to do is try and find if I can knock out. Really? I can't even get to the right line. It doesn't even want to go to the right line. Ads, Flurry Android Manager. Oh, there he is. There he is. All right. I'm showing all my secret information, so if you want to steal it, go ahead, because it's dead as a doornail anyways. Okay. So, you know what? I don't even know if that's salvageable. I'll see if it lets it go through. Maybe. Clear. Really? Flurry Android Manager. I thought I remarked him out. Oh, I got more of it. All right, you know what? Let's just go hardcore. Let's just go like this. No. Fine, let's go old school. Boom. Everybody gets remarked out. See who this pisses off. I'm sure somebody's referencing it. Wait. Wow. Did you see how fast it processed too? You know, this is the beauty of only having like that many scripts, right? Actually, it's quite a few, but they're shorter and simpler. Okay, so try this again. Oh, once again, look at this. If you want to mute the audio, you have to turn your volume down. There's no mute audio in here anywhere. It doesn't exist, right? That's before the day. All right, here we go. Let's see. Oh my God, it worked. Wow, I didn't think it would. Oh, let me see if I can get it 19 by 20. Oh, look at these. This is so cool. Look at this. All the aspect ratios, right? Once again, this... Hey, Ricky, what up, buddy? Excuse me. So I'm digging up an 8-year-old project that I have not updated. Excuse me. And it's I'm reminding myself why I haven't. But look at this. The highest... you're updating Bob. No, Bob is good. Bob functions now. Save the Titanic does not. And Save the Titanic still has lots of downloads on the Android side. On the Apple side, no, but in fairness, the Apple Store yanked it because one of the ad networks, which is probably defunct now anyways, had a vulnerable SDK. So I got to update it just so I can get it active because the game still has a following. How do you play the game? Let me see if I can actually do it. Let's just go classic.
Here's the stats report. Watch out for dangerous Ace. Anyone know who this Ace bloke is?
Iceberg.
There's Ed, by the way. Oh, shoot. Okay, my... Oh, that's right. I deleted the touch. So you're supposed to turn the wheel. Unfortunately, I deleted the plugin because it was breaking.
Frozen water.
You terrific, Ed. Yes. And then, this is the whole reason I did the game. What I did is I took all my friends' names and put their names in the end just to crack them up. So my goal was to have the game downloaded like 20 times. So for example, Mr. Mark Ross, who's a buddy of mine, whose great-grandson would have pioneered hover cars. Seen any hover cars lately? No? All thanks to you, right? That was it. It was supposed to be a joke, right? It was supposed to be these cute little vignettes so you want to replay it just so you can see what else he's going to say, right? That was the whole thing. But then, of course, then it found an audience and got downloaded millions of times. And it's like, it was a throw-together game, right? All right. So it did run. Kind of. But like I said, it's missing all the plugins. So, that's cool. But I thought it was guilt-tripping you to not sink the Titanic. Yeah. Yeah, well, that was the whole idea, make you want to go back and beat it, right? And once again, this is literally, at least a year and a half, 2 years before Flappy Birds. And because I had analytics, once again, early days of analytics, I was able to find out that I tested it just with my friends. And when I released the game, I thought I had a good balance, right? I wanted you to play it a couple times, fail, and then succeed. 98% of the people that tried it couldn't beat the game. So I made it too hard. Like Flappy Birds. So people were giving me like 1-star reviews going, this game sucks. I can't even beat the first level. And it's like, that's all there is. This is the whole game. You either make it or you don't. That's it, you know? But that was what drove the downloads because everyone wanted to see what came next, you know? And the ultimate, if you know P.T. Barnum, This Way to the Great Egress, the ultimate punchline is the fact that that's all there was, right? So everyone's anxious to find out what comes next, and there is no next. That's it, man. It was a throw-together 5.5-week game, you know. But so here's the quandary. So yes, I have the game loaded up, right? And you see it runs. So you go, well, why don't you just build it and kick it out? Because this is Unity 3.5. This is so long ago, right? I mean, we're talking. They had 3, they had 4, they had 5, and then they started going to numbers. 2017, 18, 19. So we're talking about. I can't remember exactly the date. I think the last, 2012. Betty old. Yes. 2012, I think, was the last time they updated 3.5, right? And it's 32-bit. This is all 32-bit because this is before all the iOS and Android started even thinking about 64-bit. And of course, now you have to do 64-bit, otherwise they reject it. So I literally cannot do a build planning on adding something new. I don't know. That's a good question. I'm on the fence on that. Part of me just wants to sort of like update it and get it out the door fast. Part of me wants to turn... I have an actual Facebook page because back then it was beneficial to actually create pages for games. Now I just sort of have like the one Universal Scary Robot page. But the Save the Titanic Facebook page actually has lots of people on there. So I was going to put up a questionnaire, just kind of go, hey guys, what would you like to see, in an update version of the game? And I mean, if someone comes up with some good suggestions, I may take the time to update it. I mean, ideally, I would love to just spend like a week and a half, get it polished, get it back to where it runs perfectly, and in a sort of like a more professional manner in terms of the way the ads are displayed and all that kind of stuff. But we'll see how that goes. But look at this. This is what I was talking about. Here's the screen resolution. The highest resolution it shows you is 1280 by 800 because that's as big as the devices were back then. No, there was no such thing as a 1920 by 1080 device back then. So I mean, it tops out. There's no 16 by 9. It's all 16 by 10. That's your two choices: is 3 by 2 and 16 by 10. That's so tiny. I know. Isn't that great? That's, and then it goes all the way down to 320 by 480, 480 by 320, because there were phones back then that had that resolution. All right. Okay. So, and I guess what I can do is look at, let's see. Well, there's not much I can look at here. So this is my quandary. So this is what it looks like, kind of, if the entire project would load properly. But if we look at Unity 2019, this is what we see. PS5, God. I have no, no, actually, I'm not even shooting for PS4 right now. I am licensed for Sony, at least I'm licensed for PlayStation 4, but because just trying to get the game set for Xbox, Switch, PC, and mobile. And once again, this is the team, right? Trying to cover all those platforms. I just thought trying to also do a shot at Sony as well and have it all kind of released, on parity. A big brain. No. We skip PS5 and just prepare for PS6. Oh man. There you go. Well, hopefully I have the game done before PS6 comes out. I'm praying to God that I actually hit my release date of of December, because otherwise, life's gonna suck even more than it could. But see, here's what I'm facing now, right? So here's what I got. God, I'm not even. I didn't think this through because I don't even know where to sort of like approach this now. December for Tribble. Yes, December 29th is the release date, chosen because that was the premiere date of the original episode, The Trouble with Tribbles, right? This guy. So, yeah, this episode premiered 1967, December 29th. So, my partners, the IP holders, thought it'd be a fun tribute to release the game on the day that Tribbles came out. So, that's what I'm targeting. That's the new release date. Driven by the fact that San Diego Comic-Con, which July was the original date, but when San Diego Comic-Con went bye-bye, that's when we sort of reassessed and said, okay, fine, let's shoot for December instead. Yeah, just as a nice tie-in. Which, probably not the wisest move, because everyone and their brother is releasing a title for Christmas, and I'm very aware of that, but, we'll roll the dice and see how it goes. I'm curious though, is that going to cause any issues with submission? I know that Steam isn't mobile, but if I remember correctly, trying to submit games in mobile markets is like impossible in December. Oh geez, that's a very good question. Yeah, I either got to get it in sooner or I get it in and it gets out when it does. But yeah, I'm sort of at their mercy on that one. But yeah. That is a fantastically valid question, and yeah, it could be a very unwise move, and I mean, I guess what we have to say is just we reassess when we get closer to that date, I mean, if I'm fortunate and things are coming together beforehand, I can try and submit it sooner and just have a delayed release date, which you can control, and do it that way. But yeah, if I'm trying to submit it in December, then you're totally right, man. Something to consider, I want to submit my mobile game in December, but I know for a fact there's a window where they just don't accept submissions. Agreed. Yeah. I'll have to definitely check into that, make sure. But yeah, and that's probably true for some of the other platforms as well. I'm sure at least on the Xbox side as well. And probably Nintendo. So yeah, food for thought for sure. I'll definitely have to look into that. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. That's very, very good input. I do agree. All right, so let's take a look at the art content that I had back in the day. Ooh, there's my fancy trophy. And then, of course, the obligatory go look at my other games, which at the time was only 2. But, if someone liked the Titanic, and it did work, people would actually go check it out. So that was good. And then here's the banner ad that would run at the bottom of the screen. This is if you sat there. I added this. I didn't have this initially, but I watched some people that didn't understand what they were supposed to be doing. So the game would start, and iceberg's coming, and they're just staring at the screen. So then I came up with this little thing with just these 2 arrows that spin, just to let you know, hey, dummy, turn the wheel, right? I think this is just for a background picture. This isn't for the in-game stuff. Yeah, well, background 3. So for one of the other items. Oh, and then here's the bridge that I rendered. So I did this in Lightwave. Once again, keep in mind that all the art content you see, I actually created in a day and a half. That, once again, I was trying to make this game in a month. This is like a personal test to see if I could do it. So this was just humping it, so right? And then part of the reason why I went with this clay kind of cartoony style was I knew I could create all the assets really fast. So, I mean, all I did was I modeled this in Lightwave, kind of, and then I just beefed up the poly count, and then just did a distort to give it that kind of clay wobbly kind of edge look, right? And just slapped on some procedural textures just to get it nailed, right? I think the wood is one of the few real textures I even used in the entire game. Random question. What's more fun to make, a game out of 3D or 2D? I've been planning on learning how to make games. Good question. I think it's going to be a personal preference for you as an individual. Me personally, I don't know if I'm going to tackle another 2D game for a while. The reason being is that it seems to me that the feedback is 2D gets judged a lot more harshly, right? Unless you're making a 2D game that looks like teacup game. Where's my brain? What's the shooter game with the teacup? Come on, stupid. Totally Night Cup, whatever the hell it's called. Cuphead. Thank you. Night Cup. I was in the neighborhood. But yeah, that's the problem with 2D, I think, now, is the fact that some of the comments I've gotten, Night Cup coming in December. Some of the feedback I've gotten is the fact that it's like, yeah, I mean, it looks okay, right? And it's kind of like, I thought it looked better than okay, but 2D now sort of gets judged in a more harsh fashion. I think 3D, I mean, I don't know, did you guys all watch the PS5 videos, the big debut yesterday? I was glued. I watched it. Excuse me. And most of the videos were just, I mean, all the games were just like photoreal, shockingly, subsurface scattering, all that kind of stuff. But there was the dude that made the Drifter game, right? His was stylized, right? His was super stylized. And yeah, you do. It was great. I want a PS5 now. Yeah, me too, man. Still haven't announced a price yet, I think, right? I haven't seen it. I speculating $500. We'll see. But my point is that I think with 3D you can get some breathing room, right? No price yet. Okay. You can get some breathing room with 3D, and people give you a little more leniency, right? I think with 2D, yeah, you're really gonna have to step it up. Johnny, what up, buddy? How's it going, man? Welcome back. I've rarely seen 2D games anymore. And I think that might be part of the reason, right? Is, I mean, you gotta love Cuphead, but screw you, Cuphead, because it did raise the bar so high that, anything that is not going well. Glad to hear it, man. Glad to hear it. So anything that isn't like super detailed, right, is just gonna get called out, right? And I mean, it's still possible, but I was trying to go for something more minimalistic, right? Thinking that people could focus on the gameplay, but unfortunately, some of the people that I've gotten feedback from, right, have kind of said, yeah, well, it's kind of simple looking, right? So, anyways, that's my point. If I'm going to do 2D, it's going to be something that's going to be super tricked out in terms of graphics and that kind of stuff. So, I think I'm going to stick with 3D for a while. So, anyways, so Johnny, just since you're catching up here, I'm starting to look at an 8-year-old Unity project that I can't even load in modern Unity. This is basically what it looks like now. If I load it in 2019, all the plugins are broken, right? And then if we go look at, whoops, if I go back, I have to go all the way back to Unity 3.5 to actually load the original game, so it looks like something. Oh, and by the way, the finger there, that's actually Bob's finger, with heavy compression too, because back then you had to keep the file size down to like, I think like 25 megabytes on the builds. 8-bit games also have been disappearing. Yeah, I think it's a challenge. I think, you know, because one of the the famous Bob finger, yeah. Let's see if we can find it here. There you go. There it is, in all its uncompressed glory. But yeah, that's one of the reasons I stayed in mobile as long as I did, because you could do stuff and you didn't have to kill yourself, right? In terms of graphics and complexity, because back then it was all about the gameplay and the devices just were not that sophisticated. Not so true anymore, right? I mean, is it Oddwell? I think that was the name of that game. Oops. Nope. Is that? No, it wasn't Oddwell. Oddmar. No, yeah, here's one. I mean, this is a perfect example of why developing games at indie sucks now. I mean, this is, you know, you see this and you kind of go, oh, that's nice. That's PlayStation, right? And you go, no, that's mobile. That is, this is freaking mobile now, right? I mean, this is the kind of level of detail that you can produce, right? I've been considering on doing a PS1 graphic kind of game. I missed that graphic. It was very unique. Reason supports this stream for Oddmar. I think Oddmar's made their dollar by this point. But this is my point, right? So, you know, this is sort of the new norm, right? You have to kind of reach this level, right? Or you have to be so quirky, so dynamic that you stick out, right? Which, I mean, it's just, it's getting tougher, guys. You know, I mean, that was, at least with mobile, you could get away with that. But no, you really can't anymore, you know? I mean, mobile games now look better than PS2 games ever did. And, I mean, quite honestly, better than a lot of PS3 games did, right? I mean, obviously not PS4, we'll stop it there. But this is prettier than a lot of PS3 games, to be honest. I picked 2D for my game because I can't do art, and I figured it would be the easiest. I wish my game looked more professional. Excuse me. I think my UI and art and design is my weakest art-based thing. Yeah. Look at resources then if you want to do that, because to be honest, I don't really do much in terms of my own UI. I tend to farm those out and buy kits already made and kind of tweak them. I did my own UI for Titanic back in the day because quite honestly there weren't avenues to buy stuff. And once again, I cannot mute this. There's no way I can mute this short of like hiding the microphone. But so yeah, this is me making my own UI back in the day, which looked okay back 8 years ago, but now it's just god awful. Mobile games are really rising in popularity. They are, but I still think they're a super big challenge. You know, and you could tell me if you think otherwise, because my goal is to never do another free-to-play game again, a new one from scratch. Just because you have to spend so much money and create such a controlled system that manipulates the player into either watching ads or buying in-game stuff to make you revenue, and you have to spend so much money to generate that revenue, that to me is that super vicious cycle. So I'm hoping to stay in the land of premium apps, right? You buy it once, it's yours, and that kind of stuff. But, you know, I don't know, and that's part of the reason why I've gone to multi-platform, and that's part of the reason why mobile is now the afterthought and not the driving factor for me anymore, right? Because people on Steam will go, hey, damn, I paid $10 for that game, right? Conversely, the same type of gamer will look at that and go, well, you only paid $1.99 for that on Android? Why is it not free, man? It should be free, right? And that's the kind of stuff we're facing now. So I'm slipping more into the consoles and that kind of stuff and PC, which is terrifying because now I'm competing against all that damn stuff we saw on that video yesterday, right? With those amazing videos from those amazing looking games. So you have to really make sure that you either have some kind of connection. In my case, intellectual property. That's my crutch. I'm hoping that's the bridge that brings people in and says, well, it doesn't look as good as the AAAs, but it's pretty and it's a fun game there, and it's, it has this intellectual property. So yeah, I'll buy into it. I like the logo. It looks solid. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. See, I can't buy pre-made art assets. I don't want to deal with legality, and I like doing things myself. Depending on the company, you can find ones that you buy it outright, and it's not one of those things where it's like, okay, you're using it for this, but then you have to add royalty, that kind of stuff. If they want royalties, that kind of thing, you know what? I don't bother, because if the game fails, does that mean I can come back to them and say, give me part of my money back, because it didn't succeed? So, return some cash? No. So I don't mind paying up front, kind of like, so I'm a premium fan. I don't mind paying up front for an asset that I'm allowed to use, period, right? Not with strings attached. That's not my thing. That's the same for music as well. Like Bob's finger. It's a little creepy just sitting there, isn't it? Yeah, but I mean, even if I bought stuff and I did own it, the idea that someone else's game could have that same art makes me uneasy. I understand where you're coming from. And I mean, that's true. I mean, because if you look at my Tribbles game, right, with the stuff I use, right, yeah, I would say maybe avoid going to the Unity Asset Store and looking at the most popular UIs that are for sale, because yeah, you're more likely to get a lot of similar games, right? At least a lot of games using that same stuff. But if you look at third parties, if you look outside of the Unity Asset Store, right? I mean, just, for example, I mean, I think if I challenge you to try and find where I actually purchased the UI for Tribbles, you might have a hard time tracking it down, right? Which for me is the hope that, okay, yeah, some games can use it, right? But just as long as every game doesn't use it, then I don't mind. The same for sound effects, the same for the particle effects too. Just as long as you kind of tweak it and kind of do something to customize it, then I'm totally fine with that, right? At this point, I'm basically finalized with my art style. Oh, that's good. And my UI design is just get tweaked at this point. I did what I could with the skills I had. And dude, that's it. I mean, I'm no fantastic artist myself, right? I mean, I accept the fact that I can do okay art, and I max out at a certain point. So it's sort of accepting what you can do and trying to, and if you feel that it falls that far short, then finding some ways to address it, right, and do it better. But yeah, I totally get where you're coming from on that. Yep, you do good art. Okay, Titanic is me. This is one where I did everything except for Bob's finger, of course. There's the Bob finger. Because that, of course, came from Bob, which makes it automatically the prettiest piece of art in the entire game. But the rest of the stuff is basically me. So, yeah, if I come back to this, let's see, do I have it already popped up? I do. Let me close this down. I don't need multiples of these guys. So there's the bridge, but, I mean, this is 3D renders, right? There's the actual bridge. I didn't do the finger. I know, yeah, see? Yeah, I know. I'm out now. Yeah, the finger, man. I was giving you compliments for that, right? I was giving you kudos for that, but, oh, never mind. Take it back. It sucks. But, yeah, this is just 3D stuff that I slapped together and rendered very quickly. And then here's my buttons, right? Canon, which is all distorted because I push it into the 512 by 512. Because back then, it was much more crucial that your images actually matched height and width. Oh, Johnny, sorry about that, man. Why does the Titanic... Good question. It happens. The reason why was because, so I made the game, and then the whole game is just like, there's the I won't bother taking up the video, but there's the iceberg, turn the wheel, you win, you lose, that's it. But then afterwards, people started screaming, and all my friends going, it was a warship. My friends started screaming, going, you got to have more to the game. right? You got to do more. And it's like, how do you do more? It's a ship. It's an iceberg. You hit it or you don't. That's the entire game. So then this is back, when Temple Run had just come out. It's kind of like doing an endless runner. So then it was a matter of how do I take Titanic and turn it into an endless runner. So the idea would be that, let's see. I don't even know if I can. Or I guess I can show it. I'm not sure how far we'll get, but so once again, can't mute it. I guess I could take the camera and mute. Let's go. Main camera. Let me turn off the audio listener. There. There. Oh no! Dude, Johnny, buddy, sorry man. Penny's letting you down there. Alright, so this is the endurance mode. So the gist of it is, and then I'm giving you all the info there. And see, I can't even input it now. But, so you click on those and you have to like tap the crates, right? And if you get enough crates, you can either get an autopilot or the cannon, which will auto shoot the icebergs for you. Right? So you can click the coins. Ow. Since the input is broken, I can't actually move, but that was it. So the idea was to at least create some quasi sort of endless runner, right? And then the cannon, if you get enough shots, you can actually use it. Drunk driving Titanic version. Yeah, kind of like that. And so the funny thing was, as I said, the original Titanic game I did in 5.5 weeks, but everyone was clamoring, saying you got to add more to it. So I came up with this endless runner concept, which I spent the better part of over 2 months trying to put into it, and released it, and no one cared. They still just played the classic version anyways. So it's for me, it's sort of a challenge, because how do you excuse me, how do you add more content to something that nobody wants more content to, right? It's just it's a challenge. But so that's what I'm thinking. At least at the moment, I'm thinking more towards the idea of just bringing the game up to present day standards, so it at least runs on all devices, and the ad networks aren't freaking out and doing God knows what. That was the goal. But okay. Oh, did you have another miss? There you go. All right, one sec here. Yeah. So, I kind of painted myself in a corner, because so I have this. Oh, that's my tribbles. Okay. Let me do this again. Images. Yeah. Yeah, so we have the cannonball with the fake clay shading, which I think I did, like I said, not because I gave it that much thought. I just thought I could do this really fast, right? And I think that actually helped in terms of acceptance there. Shark Bait! Welcome back, man. You're in 5th place now, by the way, Shark Bait. Hate to tell you, man. You got blown out of the water. You've been away too long. You're in 5th now. So yeah, and here are my little the buttons pre-made. The coins. I spend so much time on that, you can tell. Yeah. And then here's like images to show you what's going on. And then of course here's the Facebook button, which a lot of people click on even to this day. I still get people that can run the app, the game successfully. There you go. Oh, look at that. Bad start. Sorry, man. And then here's like all the buttons. I was a good boy, tried to put it all in one atlas so I could reduce draw calls, which back then I think draw calls were in the neighborhood of like 15 to 20. That was considered a lot. And here's what the icebergs look like. And here's the chunks. So in the when they break apart, little pieces fly up. There you go. And there's the crates for the power-ups, which I had 4 failures in a row. It was brutal. Oh, geez, man. And then Sharpay comes in and takes your win. That sucks. Sorry about that, man. And the coins, I think I borrowed those. I just repainted those from Poke with Bob. Tough. Wow. Feel the sympathy there, man. And then here's like little boats that come up at the end. Shark Bay's still pulling away. I need to get to work, but I can't stop watching this. Well, I'm not sure where to go at this point because there's so much crap that I need to do. I don't know if I should like look at the scripts. Like, yeah, here's the opening logo. Yeah, and there's like just the images to tell you which mode you can choose from. And there's the whole Titanic ship, which I think I did a 2K, which I had to shrink down back in the day. There you go. I think I used that for like the closing, right? Nightfall, I understand, man, if you have to get out, but yeah, thanks for watching, man. Yeah, there's the wheel, there's the post that the wheel sits on, and that's it. So I don't know. I can start trying to integrate new plugins. I'm going to use InGUI, which I've been using for years and years. But it's like, okay, so like 2D. There's so much stuff in here, right, that doesn't exist, even close to existing on the old 3.5 days. I mean, it's so funny. I mean, look at this. Look at the difference. Look at all these buttons up here, right? You have all, it's like, okay, you got choose which mode you want. But besides that, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Back over here, we got 1, 2, 3. You have maximize, stats, gizmos, and resolution. That's it, man. I mean, I would just turn to look mode. I'm happy to say, cool, man. Yeah, go to work. I'm just going to sit here and just kind of pontificate on what I'm going to do to try and update this. I got to do this, but I'm just, you know, I'm so daunted by this task because it's such a total nightmare. Like, wow. Shark bait. Never one not to taunt. And yet again, 970. He's closing in on the 1 grand that he wants so badly. All right, what do you think? Should I just go ahead and close down Penny? Should I just shut the app down? I don't think anyone wants to play anymore, right? You want me to just turn it off? All right. No. That seemed pretty definitive. All right, so scripts. Yeah, I think you're right, Johnny. Let me go ahead and just shut it down then. Or should I just like turn it off whenever someone's getting a success? Look at that, man. Excuse me. He is definitely eating up your string of failures. He's definitely cashing in on that big time. All right, so I can either try. I guess I could start. Let's see. Crap, I don't even know what the sizes are of any of these guys. So wheel. That's supposed to be there. Yeah, Johnny, you're such a giving person, man. Oh, there it is, finally. Johnny, how's things on your end of the world, by the way? How's your progress? You guys still plugging away? You got to be deep in your feedback from your testers by now, right? All right. So why do I even have the wheel sitting there? Do I have ship? No. Titanic. There it is. Jeez. Okay. That's seen. So I should. There he is. Going well. Working on terrain system right now. Terrain system. So you're gonna have like not only like the indoor like dungeons kind of stuff, but the ability to go out like grassy knolls and stuff like that. Sweet, nice. So what are you doing for like the grass kind of stuff? I mean, just are you rolling your own or using what's out there? Excuse me. All right. So I guess what I got to do is just go through here and your own. Oh, jeez, man, you are a machine. All right, so let's go to these images and just start turning everybody into sprites, because that's what they all have to do. Now that sprites actually exist, I guess I'd just go down the line here and just make everybody a sprite, just like that. Oh, did you finally get your 1,000 Sharp 8? I assume that's what the haha was. All right. God, that's just terrible. There was a script attached to it. And I love it. It just goes, the script, it's missing, right? No, it's still there. It just won't acknowledge it because it's it's written in JavaScript, Unity script. So rather than saying that we won't acknowledge this anymore, it just goes, yeah, I don't even see it. Oh, you're back to 970. Oh, back up to 980. There you go. So that makes it a challenge. Wow, and you can almost see some of this stuff here. Okay, so... Yep, he's not happy until he gets the full... Uh-oh. Wrong way again. Alright. Jeez, quite a few people here all of a sudden. Everyone wants to see what a nightmare this thing is. Or just coming in from someone else's stream. But welcome to everyone. Whoever else is out there. Just a quick recap. What I'm trying to do is take a Unity game, which I developed over 8 years ago. Or at least 8 years ago. And haven't touched since then. And with Unity, I almost wrote an article in Gamma Sutra about this. I was going to title it with Unity, You Really Can't Go Home Again. It was written in Unity 3.5, which is right here, right? And bringing it into update to 2019 land is a bit of a nightmare because all the scripts are useless now. They're all written in Unity script. So I have to rewrite all my scripts. The plugins are either busted or abandoned, or both. So I have to replace all the plugins and rewrite all the code that connects to those plugins. You know, just basically redoing the whole thing from scratch. And I was kind of hoping it wouldn't be so much of a nightmare, but it is. So, I mean, I can sit there and start putting some art in here, but I don't even know where it goes. And because I don't have a script that even moves anything in, I don't know. I literally have to sort of like reference it by looking at the old game, I guess. I mean, I don't know what else to do besides just like running this bad boy. Oh, you know what? Let's do this. Let's just turn that microphone off so it doesn't keep playing the music. I was a lot luckier with my projects, used C# from the beginning and been able to avoid plugins. That's because you know what you're doing, man. Once again, animator, not coder. So I was all about the shortcuts, anything that helped, you know. But yeah, that's cool. That's very cool. But I mean, I still think it kind of sucks that I think there was a plugin supposedly that would take your old. You know what? Maybe I should look at that. Maybe I should actually look at that for a second. But I don't know if that's even going to really help. But Unity script to C#. I think Unity did some kind of. There's that. I thought there's a plugin that they wrote. Okay, here it is. Oh, and it's a GitHub thing. Okay, so it's, you can tell it's really official. They gave it a lot of time and effort. You're an artist, sort of. Yeah, sorry, didn't mean to shortchange you there. Right, okay, sorry. Yes. Okay. Back up your project. If it has a pragma strict applied to them. Okay. In other words, yeah, you were smart from the get-go. I get that. Fair enough. What? What, that I'm looking at the converter or random series of events? Huh? What'd I miss, man? There's some context here I'm missing. Oh, God. Yeah, so this is like a whole setup process to just even get this. So this is something that you got to go down this rabbit hole of installing this. Oh. No. No, dude. I mean, okay, no, okay, in fairness, I did not see what your project looked like when you were tinkering away on it for those couple of years that you talked about originally. You know, I've only seen the current one, but my guess is that it's not that far departed from what we're seeing these days. So I'm just, you know, I'm giving you assumed credit. Take it. Take it. Go ahead. Take it. All right, so this scares me. This is like a whole bunch of setup process to do something that may or may not even help. And then you got to run command lines just to get it. No, you know what? If it was something that was a little more integrated, I might give it a chance. But I think I'm better off just winging it. So at least, okay, at least it'd be nice to be able to get this, right? And where is it? Oh, he's up here. God. Hey. All right. And then positions, I guess that should at least be the same, right? So let me find, okay, here's the camera for him. He's the main camera, right? So I'm going to try that. I'll try that route. I'll try and drop in some art and see if I can get it proportionally to kind of look like this. You know what? Let me do a quick screen grab as a reference. Yep. This is all the kind of stuff I was dreading. I knew it was going to be ugly. I knew it was going to be ugly. All right. Okay. So now we have, everything should be 2D. So if I slap this out here, he should come in and be humongous, but at least he's there. All right, and then let me look at where he ends up. Titanic starts at here. Copy components. Hey, that's cool. Oh, no, that's right. Yeah, you can copy your components and paste it, right? This was 3.5 and that didn't exist. I'm using a plugin that was called Copy Components that allowed you to copy the numbers, because back then if you wanted to transfer it you had to either write it down, right, or use this plugin. Transform, copy, but that's not going to transfer over to the other one, so I still got to do it. Oh Jesus. This is so ugly. All right. God, I don't even know if that's close to being... Okay, coordinates should be the same. 37, 23. All right, so he's there, right? And then scale is this. But I don't know if that's going to be the same proportion. That's no way the same proportion. Oh, Johnny, dude. Sorry, man. You keep going the wrong way there. All right. So I'm just kind of eyeballing it compared to what it used to be. And even that is... Okay, I'll just put it in 2D. All right. So, once again, this is what I'm shooting for, right? And this is what I'm looking at. All right. Got that, and try and put the iceberg in there. Why am I not seeing it? Is it in the wrong spot or just the wrong space? Jeez. Oh, he's way up there. There he is. This is really, I mean, this is the equivalent of starting from scratch, man. This is really just like that. All right. I guess. And shoot. They even have, let's see, objects. Wake. Yeah, that kind of worked. I mean, you see how Mickey Mouse this was when I made this. Combination of just trying to do it fast and still, you know, still early days, so I really didn't even know what I was doing back then. Hey, it's kind of there. Let's see. Did I shrink it down a little bit? Maybe not. Maybe come up with it? Not that either. All right, and then for textures, images, wake stretched. Oof, that ain't right. Let's see, or is it the other way around? Is it? Nope, that ain't it. Okay, so let's say, oh, maybe it's not stretched, maybe it's this guy. There we go. There it is. Okay. Let's see if I can shrink this. God. Snippet is such a pain in the butt. Alright, so that's kind of looking like that. So the coordinate system seems like it's different then too, so I don't even have the luxury of using that. Even this, I think I'm off. Oh, jeez. This is gonna suck. Let's see, I must be shrinking it down a little bit like that. Like that. I think I'm tucking it underneath. There it goes. Okay. That's a start. Oh, here I'm deluding myself the idea. Yeah, I could probably update this in a week. Oh, man. Not like this. Oh. Jeez, man. Johnny, buddy. I'm sorry, man. You're definitely cursed today. See, I sabotaged the wrong person. You know, I was trying to do that to Sharkbait. Wait, I didn't say that out loud. You didn't hear that. Alright. Okay. I don't know. Starting to get a little intimidated by this whole concept. Oh, mercy. Because it's so much broken crap. Alright, so let me see what even brings this crap in there in the first place. I mean, the nice thing is I can just do it as a do tween settle. Right? God. And this is another thing too. This is, I mean, I don't have anything separated, right? It's not like I have scenes. What brought on doing this, by the way? The fact that I get emails several times a week asking me why haven't you updated it, and I think the driving factor before I was content to let it sit there, right? Because even though the game is insanely outdated, and unfortunately Apple did pull it down, at least people on Android were still able to download it and play it. But now with the latest version of OS for Android, apparently it breaks the game. So I'm getting a lot more people that are getting pissed off, right? So I just thought it'd be a fun way whereas at least if it was available on Android, that's one thing, but now it's kind of not available on either platform, you know. So my hope is that this is sort of like a 1-week project that I can just polish it and get it back to where it was and get it back out the door. So people that want to play with this game, right, stop sending me nasty letters going, dude, fix it already. Come on, man. So that's why. And I sort of told people that I figured originally the idea was that the Tribbles would be out by July, so I just started telling them that July I'm going to focus on doing an update. So, and now that I have the demo for Tribbles done, to me it just seemed like a good transition point before I jump back into Tribbles full time and add the remaining bells and whistles. So, that was it. You know, I feel bad about having a game that, I mean, you know, at least on the Android side, still gets lots of downloads a day, you know, and then has a massive percentage. When you see the analytics and you see the percentage of them that crash on start, it makes you feel like crap, you know. So yeah, that's the key factor. All right, but Yeah, I mean, and I have I have no scenes. These are all just, this is all one giant scene because I had no idea what I was doing back in the day. So obviously I want to split this off, but I don't even know what drives the opening main menu stuff. Camera main menu? No. I guess I can look at the scripts. Go that way. Oh, I'm in hierarchy. Let me go to project. Let me bounce this over here like so. There we go. Now we're getting more of a layout like I like. Scripts. Okay. Music. Crap, I don't even have a main menu name. Titanic title screen? Iceberg. Y offset. Oh, that's the bounce. So at least I can reference that, which is nice, but that's not what I need right now. I would just like to be able to take the stuff off screen and bring it in. Oh, and I gotta bring in DoTween on this anyways. So let's see. I at least can run it, and it's not gonna throw errors. Okay, that's a start. That is a start. But let me go ahead and get DoTween brought in. So, you know, you guys do know that the asset store embedded in Unity is going away, right? You saw that. They're going to make it where you have to load all your plugins through Package Manager, which I'm not crazy about that concept, but I understand because they don't want to write a browser. What I guess is, for all intents and purposes, is a browser. Update. But I kind of like this more than I do Package Manager, because Package Manager just it's so kludged together. It seems to me like everything is there, and it's, whereas this you can kind of thumb through it and then filter and that kind of stuff. With Package Manager, you just got to spin through a humongous, gigantic list. All right, while I'm waiting, I'll take a stab at it. Package Manager is a lot better when upgrading, but finding things isn't great. Exactly, you know. And Johnny, you know, you write all your stuff. I get that, but for someone like me that has hundreds of plugins, let's see. Oh, I gotta set it up. Okay. Okay, set up DoTween. I really like DoTween. I mean, it's not anything all that sophisticated, but yeah, I'm not doing anything there, so good. It's just, it's such a great, to me it's the equivalent of a Swiss Army knife. I didn't even look to see if I even made that catch or not. That's, do it one more time here, because I don't even know if my score went up or went down. Probably missed. Let's see. Oh, okay, I got that one at least. Where am I at? 680. Hey. Wait. Yeah, okay. I think I went up. Okay. So we have DoTween now. So at least can start playing. I did? Sweet. Alright. And then, oh, this is one of the catches too, is the fact that originally, right, when this game was made, it was for, you know, what I say, resolution, a maximum resolution of 1280 by 800, right? So we're still talking 16 by 10. But now we have 21 by 9 and stuff like that. So I don't even know how to do the initial thing, which is it kind of comes in from the side of the screen and swipes in. But how do I judge the screen size, right? I mean, if it's a 21 by 9, and if I do my usual distance kind of thing, then you're going to see the edge of it, right? He's not going to be like off the side. He's going to be like on the screen right from the start. Oh, man. The more I dig, the more I don't like this concept. Oof. All right, let's just wing it. Time to make Titanic 2. Oh, jeez. Game Jam. No. I got no time for Game Jam. Alright, so... yeah, I guess I'll leave them there. Alright. So let's make our first actual C# script. And I'll call it main menu. Look at that. I mean, it's all Unity script and it's all lowercase. It's all everything you're not supposed to do. Twinning. All right. It did well. I mean, at that point, I was still, the fact that I was able to make the game run was to me a bit of like, yeah, Frankenstein, Dr. Frankenstein, kind of going, you know, it's alive, right? I mean, the fact that it actually ran, I just kind of looked at it in amazement, kind of going, I can't believe it actually works. So yeah, I was more focused on, you know, just getting the plane up in the air rather than doing barrel rolls, you know. So elegance was not a key factor back in the day. Now, by about that much. Oh, mercy. Okay. Let's see. I'll just do it as public void move objects in like so. Yeah, you're very much the same way. Well, that's comforting, man. That's actually comforting. All right. Serialize field name object. I just call it ship. Keep it nice and simple. Transform position. I would never have gotten into coding if I didn't get the instant satisfaction of hitting the play button. Dude, I so agree, man. You know, I think I talked about that a couple days ago, right? That's, I think, prototyping might be my favorite, just because stuff does come together so quickly, right? You know, it's when you start going beyond that it becomes a bit of a slog. But yeah, I let's see. Do I even have a 21x9? I do. I've done a couple game jams, and I'm getting too old for that, man. I'm just getting too old for that kind of stuff. And also, I mean, since I don't have a Kickstarter that gave me tons of cash to sit back and make my game, you know, since I'm scrambling to try and make a game that actually makes me money so I can stop taking all the animation freelance jobs all the time, game jams are kind of a double no for me at the moment. Alright, so let's just say 21x9 is the worst it'll ever get, okay? And if we start getting screens that are 3x1, then tough, okay? It's just tough. So we'll say 25 to 518. Alright, so we'll do it that way. Is equal to new vector 3. So he's at 25 by 39.5. Let's round that off. Can we round that off without breaking much? 40. That's a little high. Okay, I'll leave it. Yeah, not like I have time to do anything but deliver on what we promised either. Just wishful thinking over here. Yeah, I mean, they're fun. You know, they really are fun. But I think it's one of those things that you forget. When you're in the middle of one, you're kind of like, you know what, I'm not doing this again. You know, and when you're finally done with it, you're kind of going, God, I can't believe I did that. And then the next week, you're kind of like, you know, that was... I should do another one of those. Alright, 39.58 F, 23.582. Yeah, that's ridiculous. Let's at least round this down to just 2 decimal places. You know what? Actually, we just do it as 0. This is 2D. Oh, but wait. Wait, why would Z put it that way? Oh, the camera's tilted. because because there's no such thing as an orthogonal camera back in 3.5 days, so I can't even do that. You know what? I'm gonna correct that right now, because that's just gonna come back to haunt me, and I want this to be 2D. So let's correct that. The last couple of ones I did were really relaxed, nice, but they were solo. I wasn't too bothered with what the rules ended up being. Yeah, the last one I did, I partnered up, and yeah, there's just that feeling of trying to get all the content in place, you know, especially when you work with something that haven't worked before. But we did a good job. It came off okay. But yeah, it is pretty stressful kind of thing. Wait, why do I have cameras all over the place? Is it this guy? Yes, this guy. All right. So perspective, we're gonna go to orthogonal. Sweet. There you go. And now this is gonna break this, isn't it? Yeah, it does. Of course. Oh, jeez. Need to head out. Not getting much work done at the moment. What? I'm shocked. Thanks for streaming. Catch you later. Johnny, thanks for coming by, buddy. Good to see you again. Good luck with your stuff. Oh, that's right. We got to work on shoot. I might have to split that into two. If I'm going to keep this as true 2D, I might have to split that. Yeah, I definitely want to go to 2D. So I'm going to just have to bite the bullet on that one and break this up into two separate pieces eventually. So I think what I'll do for the moment is just kill the wake and revisit that later on. Okay. So at least we can do that. Right there. And then we'll say transform do move X is equal to, and it needs to come to, what did I say, 5.18. Oops. And we'll say, and see, I don't think it overshoots. I think it just comes to a rest. Or does it? Let's travel back in time to 3.5 land. Yeah, he just stops. Kind of abruptly. Alright. Set ease. Oops. Out sign. Like so. Alright. So just to have a small, oh, I didn't actually set it up, did I? Alright. Jeez, I got so much crap in here now. Main menu. Toss him on here. The first C# script to replace all the Unity script. Alright. We got drop him on there. Four, 3, 4 view. Okay. So there. Now he should bounce away and come in. Or not. Oh, because it's a function and I'm not calling it yet. That's right. Because I wanted to do that because I know I'm gonna do that eventually. So and I want to be able to call that when I want it. There we go. Finally. It's taken me almost an hour and a half just to get to the point where I did some yeah, that was okay. Let's see. How long does it take over here? Yeah, so it doesn't happen for a while. It's like the water goes by and then it comes in eventually. So that probably will get pushed and delayed. Oh shoot, if the water... Oh, I didn't think about that. If the water is 2D... Oh crap. I'm not going to get the perspective shift. Oh, mercy. 2D may not be the way to go for this. I hate to say it. I may have to switch the camera back to 3D. All my stuff is kind of hard-coded to that. Huh. Alright, let me think. So if we go objects, ocean. Right, ocean should be here. There it is. Okay. Say ocean. No, I guess I did do it as a... Interesting. I forgot I'd done it that way. And I just scaled the crap out of it, I guess. Okay. Mobile. Images. And I guess I messed with the UV. We'll find out here in a second. Drop this in like so. Whoa! Boy, that's butchered. Wait, why did it work in the past but not now? So here it looks nice and pretty. Right? Look at that. So here it's treating it nicely, but here is just kicking the crap out of it. That's funny. Do I have anything set differently? Let's see. No? Okay. Okay, so there's the first nightmare. So if we go 1, 1. But if I do 2, then it gets pissy. Oh, so if I do 0.5, we get that. Okay. But I cannot. Wow. Oh. Here's why. It's clamping. Let's go mirror. Tracker! What up, man? How's it going, man? It's a new game dev. No trouble. Good eye, man. Good eye. Yeah, this is actually an 8-year-old game that people have been screaming at me that I have not touched for 8 years to try and get me to update. And I finished all the demo stuff, all the bells and whistles I wanted to put in the demo version of Tribbles. So I thought now was a good time to sort of stop down and sort of travel back in time. So as I was demonstrating, this game was originally written, it's called Save the Titanic. It was written in Unity 3.5. And trying to update it is just the definition of nightmare. All the scripts I have to rewrite because they're written in Uniscript. The plugins are either gone or totally broken. So, yeah. But yeah, I'll be back to Tribbles here very soon. Sooner, if this turns out to be a bigger nightmare than I'm already thinking it is. I may abandon it, but hopefully, apply that. Hopefully I can get this updated because there's, as I was just saying a few minutes ago, Apple pulled it down because the ad networks have vulnerable SDKs, which I understand. And then at least the Android version, which still, this game gets a lot of downloads. Even after 8 years and not even touching the game, it still gets a lot of downloads. But now the new OS of Android apparently breaks the game. So now nobody on Apple side was able to download it, except for those who already had it. And now on the Android side, a lot of the newer phones can't play it. So I thought now was a good time. And I keep getting emails from people going, would you just update this stupid thing? How hard could it be? It's like, dude, you have no idea. You have no clue. So I'm taking a stab at it here. You know, and I got to judge just how much of a nightmare this is truly going to be. There you go. So this is what it looked like back in the Unity 3.5 days, 8 years ago. This is an editor that Unity hasn't updated in 8 years. 2012, when they last touched it. Alright, so what I'm going to try and do is judge that versus this. Alright, so that's pretty good. I just need to scale this thing up. like so. Tracker, what's going on with you, man? How's it going? I need to stretch this out. Nope, not that much. Do 2. Titanic is flat. Very observant. Yeah, it is. Let's see, how did I get that so stretched out like that? Yep, and then I think the camera's in. Yep, it was a 2D game, technically. This was just, it was a game that I threw together in 5.5 weeks. It was supposed to be a joke for my buddies, but the game found an audience and it got downloaded over 6 million times. So people still like to play the game. So I felt like I needed, and I had planned on updating it in July, but because I've sort of stretched out the Tribble development time, I thought after completing all the components I wanted for the demo version, Tribbles, I thought now might be a good time to sort of jump back and tweak this. I may change my mind. I will probably slog through this weekend, and if I decide this is just getting to be too much of a nightmare, I may balk and just sort of let this slide. We'll have to see. Alright, oh, that's why, because I'm doing that way too big. Alright, so the way it worked was it's like that. There it is. And like that. Now we're getting closer. Maybe more like 2. There it is. Alright. So we got that, and then this was more like down here. Right. So once again, this is what I'm trying to line it up to be again. Because all the tools that I use for moving all the stuff into place are plugins that are no longer in existence and don't work at all. So I'm having to redo this basically all from scratch. Let's see. I guess I should leave that because I got the buttons all around it, so that's probably about right. And there's this guy. Yep. Alright, so do that. Okay, so then let's mess with the iceberg here. Go back to the main menu. Iceberg's position is there. Oh, let's do this way. Main menu ship, so I can clarify that. I mean, it's fun. You know, I started this stream by saying that this is, a lot of this is just for myself. You know, just for posterity, so I can look at what it's like to take a game from 8 years ago and find out how much of a pain in the ass it is to try and update it in Unity. I'm kind of realizing I underestimated just what a nightmare it would be. You have any games are fun in appearance at the same time. Unity DirectX 11 develop. Yeah. Okay. Jeez. Alright, oh, as Iceberg. I was going to move him over. Alright. So, Titanic is there. To Unity's defense, if this were a game that was like 4 years old, this wouldn't be as difficult. Fair enough. Well, it'd been right on the cusp, because it was about 4 years ago that they kind of threw the stake in the heart of Unity script. So, that's true. You know. But yes, I mean, like some of the other stuff, definitely. You're probably right about that. Alright. So let me add him. Actually, let me close this one. There you go. Yeah, I mean, I'm bad mouthing, but I understand why Unity does that. I understand why they have to keep things moving, right? I think the only scary thing about that, yeah, 4 years ago is when they started doing the yearly builds, and since then upgrading hasn't been too bad, right? But the thing that concerns me is that when they do abandon stuff, they drop it so hard that it you can still get in these kind of situations, right? You know, Unet, I think, is a perfect example of something that's people have spent a lot of time investing into, and now they're realizing that, okay, it's still alive, but it's dead man walking, right? So they know they're going to have to do a bunch of updates on that. But I understand that Unity is constantly, they're not doing it to screw customers. They're constantly trying to improve the product. So I appreciate that fact. But I do feel like sometimes they sort of like are too fast to jump ship and move on to another shiny object, which it's nice to know that we as game developers that do that all the time, right, are not the only ones that do it, I guess. You know, it's nice to see that even on a larger scale, they'll do that sometimes. Well, they'll jump onto something, right? Or, for example, you know, visual scripting. You know, we're working on this for a couple of years, and they finally just go, screw it, let's just buy Bolt, you know. So, there's that. So, main menu, iceberg. Like so. And shrink this down a little bit. All right. Transform position equals vector 3. Actually, I'm going to push him further to 15 and put him at 25. We'll see what that looks like. 32, 5, 9, 7, 9, 23 point. Oh God, I really did do that, didn't I? Okay. 23.98. We'll leave it there. Like so. So we kick it out and then we bring it right back in. Like so. And then he's going to come back to that value. Like that. Yeah, let's round that off. I just hate when it's like that stupid. There. I mean, can't even tell the difference. 8. Alright. Oops. Iceberg ship. And lots of M's in there. Alright. Now he's happy. Let that compile for a second. And now both of those things should slide in. Or not. Did not assign it? I didn't assign it, did I? No, I didn't. Yeah, fair enough. And again. Okay. Wow. That's not even close to being correct. What the hell? Iceberg. Oh, it's -7. How did I get that other number? What the heck was I even looking at then? Alright. So, oh, I need to go the other way. So he goes to 35. He goes to 25. This is 3603. And this is 23.9. And then it comes to a rest at -7.59. There. Obviously, I had another object selected when I was pulling those numbers a second ago. Whoops. There it goes. All right. Yeah, and when the water moves along with it, then we'll get something closer like what we had 8 years ago. Like that. Cool. All right. That's an okay start. All right, I'm going to duck out for a quick break, but hang tight. I got a few more minutes to go. We'll see if I can make a little more headway. So hang tight, guys. I'll be right back. All right. And I'm back. Okay. So try and get a few more things in place here. Yeah. Oh, boy. I don't know. This is definitely the proverbial can of worms for sure. And once again, this is exactly why for 8 years I've said, I really need to update this app. And I go, you know what? That's just going to really suck if I try. And guess what? I was right. Each digit after the decimal point decides the fate of the landing of the SpaceX. The Titanic is swimming super fine. Nice. Oh, man. Yeah, and I love the SpaceX stuff, man. That was fun to watch. I've been cheering them on for sure. That is so cool. Okay. So those guys are coming in place. Let me see how I did. I'm guessing the stars I did is just a slide the UV gag. Let me see. There's the game. There's the scene. Don't go full screen. Good. So I'm guessing, yeah, it's just, so I did that for both the water and the stars, just a UV thing. Okay, so let's try and do the same. So it's kind of funny that all the objects are there, but they're just busted back in the... Let's see. Okay, so we got to turn him 180. And then place him back here. Like so. And have to... I'm hard coding it to the idea that, okay, it can handle up to 21 by 9. Anything beyond 21 by 9, and it's just going to break. But if people have phones that are bigger than 21 by 9, then they're just... I don't know. At that point, that's a tree trunk at that. That's not even a phone anymore. Alright. So there's stars. Images. Where's stars? Where is it? Sky? Crap. Yeah, stars 02. Why am I missing that? Stars. Oh, it was right there. If it had been a snake, it would have bit me. Oh, we got the same thing with all these guys wanting to be clamped. And it's repeat. Oh, did I do mirror on this guy? Why? I did do mirror. I want repeat. That's better. Okay. So, and then let's see, stars. So let's see if we can borrow what we did. Stars script. Let's see. Yeah, but how? Let's see. GCV title screen. Let's see. I don't think Dutween has a UV tweak. It'd be nice if it did. Alright, but we're going to throw this all in the main menu anyways. Whereas before I had scripts for everything. I like grouping this stuff back together. This is not the best way to do this. I understand this. This does not divide the stuff up nicely, but, you know, so what? I'm doing it wrong. I think we've established that fact numerous times. Renderer stars image. Okay. Do color, no, shoot. It's renderer material. Do color. Yeah, no, I don't think I can modify it. It is a do tween that way. So we'll say, we'll do it this way. We'll say update stars image float new UV. Probably a cleaner way to do this, but I don't know it offhand. So we'll just do as a do tween with an update. Never can remember how to do it as a is it value? No. Never can remember that one. Do-tween doc. For the most part, do-tween is really great in terms of simplicity, but for just doing like a from A to B value kind of thing, it's kind of obnoxious. My tween. Let's see. Set loops on start. Okay. Let's see. 2. Yeah. Okay. So. So that implies, and I don't think this works this way. Oh, maybe it does. See, I never can remember how this works. Tween I called. Nope, nope, nope. Let's do move. All I want to do is just value. Do spiral. Okay, here we go. I do scale. If the game developer has disappeared, a publisher company earns revenue from a very old game, then make a remake of the game probably will not work. We must wait for the funeral of the publisher. Such a thought does not look good for good. That's okay. I'm curious if there's a company in particular. I know that's like one of the things we were talking about that like back on Monday. I think we were talking about the Star Trek graphic adventure game, right? Because that was done by Interplay, which is dead and buried, right, for all intents and purposes. So the question mark then becomes who owns the rights, and you know, it's whenever a game dies, it seems like every company that had ever had anything to do with it suddenly claims the ownership of it, right? You know, and as my friend Larry, who's the head of the production side for Night Dive, they've done numerous games, right? And you know, I've heard some of the between them and GOG, I've heard the horror stories of trying to get all the clearances and all the rights. And I remember GOG had that one time too, where they were in the middle of making a game after they got all the clearances, and then suddenly another company popped up and said, no, that game belongs to us, and then they had to negotiate with them too, right? That's just, to me, that's a scary thing. Let's see, between to alpha to array to access to. It's nice, but it doesn't really give me. It says with lambda. Okay, so in theory, if I do this, and we say start value. Good. Now we're getting somewhere. And we'll say, well, let's play with this for a second. All right, so we'll just arbitrarily say 4. -4 is the magic number. We can adjust accordingly. -4, and the duration is for 1 second. And we do set ease out. So this is one of the perks of with the Do Tween is you can do it all in sync, and they all kind of have the same settle. So that might work. All right. So now we gotta do it. Stars, image. Oh shoot! I gotta remember this now. Is it material? UV. Ow, crap. What is it? I forgot. Yeah, material is correct. Set. Color float. Texture. Set texture offset. There it is. I think I can get away with main text. Vector 2, and now we use the new UV and 0. Oh, it wants just absolutely to be a string, doesn't it? Okay, jerk. Fine, let's get the exact name so it won't bitch and moan. It is main text. Okay. Oh, but with capital letters? Gotta get it perfect. Case sensitivity. And it's text, not text. Right. Okay. Let's see if we got any luck with this. Stars. Where is he? Okay, let's drag him. Can group all these guys in the same general vicinity. Like so. Done. Save. Cross your fingers and hope. Oh yeah. I think it was just too fast, but that actually did work. So let's cut that by half. That's cool though. We actually got that to work on the first try, so yay that. Okay, so now it's like in sync, which the stars would be slower, right? Because it's like a parallax kind of thing. Still too fast. Oops. Get the F in there. That's closer. Right, so now the water is looking funky because the UV's not moving on that. So it looks like the water is actually kind of sliding the opposite direction, which is a nice optical illusion, I guess. Oops. Let me keep this all consistent. And I'm going to update UVs. So we're going to do the same to the water, so I might as well kind of keep that simpler. Ocean. Alright, so same thing. Oh, let's just be consistent. Main text. Alright, let's try that. Apply everything. It seemed like such a good idea originally. Come out to the coast, get together, have a few laughs. Update an app. How hard could it be? Ocean. And stars. Gotta reattach the stars. Yeah. Alright. Let's see. Oh, wait a second. Stars are going the wrong way. That's why it's looking weird. Ocean's moving too fast, I think. Oh, crap. All right. Nope, I had the stars right the first time. So that's correct, and the stars are wrong. So let's go negative. Let's just drop it down in like 1.5. Let's just make it like nothing. I think that's what's throwing me off. It's just too fast. And that shouldn't be. I was doing the spacebar only. I was in Unity 3.5 land. Alright, so ocean is definitely the wrong way. Alright, so that's funny. Stars want to go... Oh, because the stars had to do 180 on. That's right. That's why. Alright, good. So... Okay, so I'm going to have to separate these out because the values are going to be different. So it was nice to consolidate, but that was stupid. So update stars. And update ocean. And then bust this out. Like so. Stars goes away, ocean goes away. Alright. So 0.25. You know what? Actually, I think 0.5. Let's just go with that. See if that gets us closer. Nope, water was wrong way. Water was definitely the wrong way there. Alright, so, okay, water's correct now. And the stars, yeah. We have set ease. We have set ease on all those guys the same. I guess it's because of the distance that it feels like the ease feels different, but I guess that's correct. Alright, so then let's just try and beef up the time a little bit, make it a slower move. We're almost there. Ooh, stars didn't go anywhere that time, did they? Let's go 3, and I think the duration is just way too long, so we'll split the difference. Like so. Let's see. Is that right? Yeah. Yep. I think we got a little parallax action working there. Cool. Alright. Should I try one last bit of the wake? I don't know if this is gonna even work. Oh, that's right. I gotta split it up, don't I? That's probably not even worth the effort. Yeah. Good idea, but no. Yeah, that's just totally foobarred. Okay, we're not going to do that right now. I think what I have to do is turn that into a 2D element, is bake it down and apply it like so. Oh, you know what? Not terrible. Looking at this, possible I may not learn how to make simple such games, but I will learn to make simple cartoon applications. You know, it's funny you say that, because the animation tests I did for the next game that I'm going to be working on, I had that kind of thing where after I finished the test, I was kind of like, you know what? This is better than some of the stuff that, if I say so myself, that Unity puts, that Netflix puts on their stuff. And I'm looking at it kind of going, yeah, you really can use this. It's just like a true animated short film or movie kind of tool. I mean, stylized, of course, but still. I mean, that's actually funny, but not necessarily wrong. Alright, I don't think I can do both. I can do it like that. I can almost get it right. Alright, so if I do that, alright, I'll try this, but I don't think this will work. I'm going to stick it with the Titanic and let that come in. Oh, it actually, okay. No, that does work. Alright, so that's a start. Alright, and I'm a little over, I'm at the 4 o'clock mark. So, that right there, 2 hours worth of assessing an 8-year-old Unity project, I gotta do it. I gotta say it. What you saw was just the tip of the iceberg. And everyone leaves. God, that was like a pure dad joke, wasn't it? Okay, couldn't resist. But, yeah, it's good now. This is something that I've avoided for 8 years, of looking at this damn game after all these years, and just sort of now assessing just how much of a job it's going to be to take this bad boy from Unity 3.5 and actually make it work in a updated game engine. And it's going to be sizable. Excuse me. But doable. Oh, I see what I did. I got the edges there. Alright, I definitely got to pay more attention to that. But the catch is I'm looking at a wide screen, so let's put it back to a 16 by 9. There you go. So this is closer to what I had in the past. I was trying to accommodate 21 by 9. Yeah, not too bad. Adobe Flash, the lost of past, Unity the future. I mean, this really was, for all intents and purposes, this was a glorified Flash game, right? Which was viable, 8 years ago. Now, I think most of the people that want this updated are just so they can, like as a nostalgia piece, right? But it's not much of a game. It never really was, but there are definitely some people that are saying shut up and update it already. Come on. So let me do that. Tuck it back in there like so. There you go. We got ourselves awake. Yeah. Good enough for the moment, I think. Alright. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I can tell you for sure on Monday. I'm either going to commit to this over the weekend and bash through this and then continue it next week, or I'm going to tinker and pull my hair out and just kind of go, sorry, I'm going to abandon it. I can't abandon it, though. That's the thing. The game still gets a ton of downloads. You cannot abandon a game that still is heavily downloaded. That's stupid. So I got to bite the bullet, man. All right. I think I just made my own mind up right there. Crap. All right, guys. I think I will call it a day right there. This is what I wanted to do. I wanted to have something for posterity so I can look back at this and kind of go, yeah, that was nasty. But that'll do it for me, guys. I'm going to get myself out and have yourselves a fantastic weekend. I, of course, will be back on Monday. I have some progress to show you, I hope. And by that point, I will also, this weekend, if you want to glance, I will have an update to the triple game that will have an updated basic version, the casual, and also the arcade mode, which is really hard. I myself have a hard time beating the game. My wife was watching me play it last night, and she goes, the guy that made the game can't even beat this. It's kind of like, yeah, it's a challenge. So when you play the arcade mode of Tribbles, you definitely have to collect some power-ups. You are not going to beat the game unless you intelligently collect all the gems that you can and get yourself a ton of power-ups. I also updated the tutorial because some of the people that were playing the game, streaming it, I noticed that they were not finding the hidden areas. So yeah, if you play it, if you play the tutorial, you'll see that I've updated all that kind of stuff. But that'll do it, guys. Of course, I think it's time for the obligatory cameo by the real Penny. Uh-oh, she's getting excited. I swear to God, the dog can tell time. She can literally tell time, I'm telling you. Alright, hold on. Here we go. Yep. No! Yep, there she is. Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep, she gets slightly excited around this time of the day. Which is funny because it's still 100 and something degrees out, so, you know, we'll do like 10 tosses and she'll start getting tired already. She slobbered me. Look at that. I'm Bill Murray in Ghostbusters. She slimed me. Alright. Thanks, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for the conversation. Great to see you all. Have yourselves a fantastic weekend, and I will see you again on Monday. Until then, you guys take care of yourselves, alright? Adios.